Alright guys, a trip around the world of esports is what is on offer, and the excitement of video games is what you get to relish on the program. It is the Afrogamer Show reaching you right here on Afro Sports TV. Great to be back on the grind as always. My name is Shayo, your regular host, and yes, indeed, it's all about esports gaming and the games. And we're always excited to be your weekend starter, taking you around the world and telling you the very latest and, showcasing a few other things, bringing some things back from the past and showing you some things that are made for the future. Welcome to the program. We promise it to be as exciting as we always make it, and you don't want to miss any bit of it. Don't forget, this is a package put together by Afro Sports TV and the Afrogamer News platform. And indeed, when I get back from this break, the managing editor of the Afrogamer News platform will be joining me, and together we'll delve into the news making the rounds. Don't go away. Stick around. It is the Afrogamer Show, and we're back on the grind. All right, welcome back. It is the Afrogamer Show. I'm sure you know that by now, right? So that's the reason why you're here. And yes, we want to serve you hot, the very latest news making the rounds. And as always, I've got my buddy, the man about town, the African town, Ife Akintaju. Ife, how's it going? Welcome to the program. Great to be back, I believe.
Yeah, hello Shayo. It's wonderful to be back again for another week. Looking forward to unpacking all this information, all this juicy gist and news for our wonderful viewers.
Definitely talking about juicy gist, and we're going to East Africa. That's where we're starting up from this time around, and it's all about the Esports Federation. The president is a good friend of the house, my guy, Ronnie Lusigi, and they've launched the support program for tournament organizers. I saw this at the start of the week, and it's quite fantastic. Do I have some things to add? I'm thinking either to say it here or take it to him personally, but let me just get his first view on this one. Support program for tournament organizers is a brilliant idea, but I just felt that some people need the support more first before we talk about tournament organizers.
Yes, Shaya. So I think this came to light because of what had happened a few weeks ago of that complaint, and the Kenya Esports Federation had to release a press statement about players not getting paid for their winnings. So I think that does birthed that idea in them, like, okay, fine, first things first, you have to be registered and recognized under the federation, and then the federation will support you. It is not just going to be, oh, we know you're having a tournament. So they already have some existing partnerships, like AOC by Aegon is a screen partner. We've seen pictures of them with Safaricom, so they have access to those networks. So they're trying to build a framework and a standardized method of running tournaments, which to me I think is a fantastic idea. And from the press release, which you can see on the afrogamernews.com website, is they listed what and how they'll be instrumental to all tournament organizers. And first things first, you have to be registered under them, because that is when they can protect you. They can say, okay, they will hold you accountable, unlike what was being seen across Africa, where tournament organizers are just acting wild at the moment. So I think it's a wonder. Yes, I think it's a wonderful and welcomed idea. I hope they get it right and it is not just for press. And I'm hoping structured esports federations across the region can also emulate that.
Okay, beautiful idea. We all agree with that, but like I said, I feel the players need support first. Tournament organizers will be fine. Players are very important, but hey, it's always good to take it step by step, and I believe that's what Esports Kenya has done. They've done something commendable. I believe that even without probably making an announcement about it, I believe Morocco would have something like that in place with the way the structure is out there. But hey, like Ife said, every of the federations in Africa should be looking in this direction, because we saw a lot when we came into the space in 2020, even in the Nigerian space, and we still hear a few things around the space. So there's a need for a correction of that particular one. Let's leave that now and come back to Central Africa, I believe, and that is talking Cameroun. Cameroun Esports Federation is looking, and this one looks like a, when you're a smart child. They're looking to honor the president, and they've created a tournament in the name of the president. Lots of titles in there. Considerably good prize pool in terms of the monies to be won. Let's talk about this one. It's the BIYA Esports Cup.
Shayo, this is a strange one, and I'm using the word strange because once I saw that, I won't say announcement, it was just a post. I won't really call it an announcement. It reminded me of, if you remember, the esports tournament in Benin 3 or 4 years that they made fuss about it, and it ended up not happening. And we heard different rumors of the president is behind this, and people started getting ready because there was $100,000 prize pool, and people started. So this to me is, I'm looking at it with that Afrogamer lens. One eye's closed again, and that's because after I saw the post from the president of the esports of Cameroun, I did reach out for comments, like, let us know, let's see, and till it's been days coming, it's been exactly, and it's been days coming, there hasn't been any comments.
Possibly
so
have them on the
that's already red flag number 2. And I'm looking at this, you are doing the BIYA Esports Cup of Nations, and honestly, Shayo, I think the titles are too many. How many gaming communities do we have? Saying League of Legends. Do we really play League of Legends in Africa?
League of Legends, they already lost me, because in Africa, do we really play League of Legends?
Yeah. Exactly. So, there are so many red flags. And once again, once I start to see prize pool again, it's another red flag. Almost $87,000 US.
Yeah.
How much are you using to run the tournament that you are giving it an 87,000? So those are, once again, and that is why I reached out for comments and I got cricket sound. So to me, as much as the news is out there, there are still questions that need to be answered. I'm still hoping to get more comments from the president, and like you mentioned, bring him on the show to talk about it. We want, once again, we want the success. The success of the event is the success for Africa. So hopefully, he can give us more insights, and then and tell us more about it.
All right, definitely we're expecting more insight, and Ife is too vexed to talk about the other titles. So there is Street Fighter 6, there is Mobile Legend Bang Bang, there is Call of Duty Mobile. For me, I don't know why people would do a tournament and put EFC and
I don't understand that.
They should just
exactly,
because it's the same. It's one and the same for all it's worth. Tekken also, so you can as well just say one fighting game, one football. Just pick it like that. But hey, they know what they're doing.
That does not sound like people that know what they are doing. But I'll let you proceed.
I mean that in the way.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
Anyway, so we'll leave it at that. We'll take a quick break because we're going to cross over to the other side and talk international, but not without this break where we'll look at this retro, and it's both on PlayStation 1, and we're talking old football games. I don't know how much of them you played or enjoyed, and I'm talking about Winning 11-3 and ISS. ISS had this very amazing launch tune talking about International Superstar Soccer. Enjoy this one. We'll be right back with more on the news.
superb passing play. He tries the shot. That's brilliant. 1-1. Let's take another look at that.
ついにこの土壇場で試合の主導権を握りました。さあもう一度見てみましょう。イタリア奇才と呼ばれた監督が個性豊かなタレントをまとめ上げています。
Alright, welcome back. That was our retro for today, and like I told you, don't you just love it looking at that one? International Superstar Soccer and Winning 11, which is now eFootball, by the way, made by Konami. Trust me, the evolution of the video games industry is one to relish, and if you really dive deep and start the build up from way back, you would enjoy that journey. And I think there are a few documentaries on some of the streaming platforms where you can enjoy some of this amazing history of the world of video games. Ife, I believe you played both, because we both know your age, right?
Oh, I played.
You even played the ones before
both.
them.
I'm not even going to deny it.
Before them.
Yeah, I played both, and I loved it. Trust me, if I can find the retro versions, I would definitely get it to play again.
I really love both games. All right, let's leave that, because we can really go all the way, but let's leave that and go beyond Africa now. I'm talking in the news, and Saudi Esports Federation, it was signing, MOU signing galore this week, and we'll just look at 3 of them that are of impact. First, let's talk about the signing with Level Infinity, Infinite, I believe. Let's talk about that one. Interesting MOU signed there.
Yes, so for context, Level Infinity is the publishing division of Tencent. So they are the ones that published the PUBG Mobile game. So Saudi had an agreement with them, or rather an understanding with them, to be able to, achieve 3 pillars. The first of all is to bring the PUBG Mobile National Championship to Saudi. I know last week or 2 weeks ago we spoke about that going to Morocco. So now, they've been going to different, rather, birthing that national championship in different countries. So that agreement brings, PUBG Mobile to Saudi, which means that they will officially get a slot. The winner gets a slot in PUBG's annual tournament they do, so which is wonderful. And part of that memorandum of understanding is to be able to have university leagues, so it still bounces off the PUBG. So now they'll be able to promote esports in universities, and then now have those universities across Saudi Arabia compete in PUBG. So I think it's just different tiers with a common goal, basically, which is wonderful. And then
particularly like the one of the Esports Academy,
Yes, and the last one obviously is the Esports Academy, like you mentioned.
I'm Mr.
Mr.
Education in esports. I know some people tag.
So I think they have a framework on paper that they actually want to achieve, and they are making all those moves. memorandum of
this-
understanding and co-op.
I know it's like whining, but are these things really beyond us?
So it's a good question. First of all, you have to.
These things really beyond us?
Yeah, so first of all, I think the problem Africa is having as a region is that we have these numbers, but we cannot account for it.
Yeah.
That is where the problem is. For example, yes.
data,
So, for
yeah.
example, Morocco can. So, let me not say the whole of Africa, majority of Africa, Morocco can. Saudi Arabia
Yeah,
can.
definitely.
So, the rest cannot. And, you know, I think everyone has a part to play in this. For example, publishers also,
Yeah.
there are no African servers. So once again, those numbers will always show as Europe server numbers or whatnot. And you know, I've been
Somewhere
asking this
else,
question. We've spoken about this
Yeah.
before. Is even as much as it shows as Europe, are the publishers going to tell us that they can't see that those logins are African logins? So
They
you know,
can definitely see exactly.
exactly.
The
So it's
algorithm-
that they're not interested in it, or they just think those numbers are too small. So
Okay, let's not whine, because that can be our game over for today actually.
Okay.
Just saying, we could have just done game over, and trust me, that may just be the case. But that's by the way. Let's talk about Saudi esports. More MOUs, and this time with Saavy Games. Personally, I feel this is like Ife and I signing an MOU, because we'd always be buddies, right? That's the way I see this one. But hey, it's been signed, and I'm sure it will impact the ecosystem out there in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, so it comes back to educational initiatives. So they want to be able to train, create jobs, you know, and just make sure that people have a career path in Saudi Arabia. Once again, it's like you telling two brothers to sign that we're going to eat rice tonight. I think that's the layman analogy in my own opinion. So obviously, both of you are going to eat tonight. So why are you signing an agreement that we're going to eat? Yeah, all you're just doing is specifying the dinner as to what the dinner would be. We know you guys are going to eat tonight. So to me, is it newsworthy? Yes, but to me, on the other hand, too, it's not all that. Exactly.
It's an obvious news. It's obvious. It is definitely obvious, because of course Prince Faisal is president of Saudi Esports. He's also the vice president of Saavy Games. So naturally, would bring Saavy Games to the table,
Exactly.
or to do something to favor Saudi Esports. But then commendable. It still just touches on possibly, and this is the way I view this and feel that possibly this should be something that ignites something in other federations to reach out to Saavy
Sure.
Games to do in their
Yeah,
own
but the
ecosystem.
question
That's
is Saavy interested in anything outside of Saudi Arabia or MENA region?
Definitely. Saavy Games' vision and mission is global, not Saudi Arabia or MENA. So I believe if value is cross-exchanged, they would be.
Okay. Only time will tell. I still have my reservations about it. They say that is their vision, but I'm still yet to see something outside of Saudi Arabia. But let's wait and see.
Okay, we'll wait and see. And finally, talking about the MOU signing moves by the Saudi Esports Federation. This time they've signed an MOU with Saudi pro clubs, and we're talking esports clubs now. Team Falcon, obviously. We've got RB Sports, The Ultimate, and Twisted Minds. This looked like the same deal they did with the football clubs that they signed with in the Saudi Pro League. And this time pro clubs in esports also getting, well, close to the same deal.
Yes.
And this is a good build up to the Esports World Cup, which is just a few
Yes.
months
So I think, you know, all we've known, you know, is Team Falcons, Saudi Arabia. There are other teams which, you know, are there, but no one thinks about their connection to, you know, the Saudi Esports Federation. So what they are doing is, okay, we need to build that ecosystem where outside of Team Falcons, you know, that we have XYZ teams. So they decided to sign, So for sustainability and building a proper framework, they've signed with the four, with obviously Team Falcons leading the pack. And like you did mention, how they did the same thing with the Saudi Pro League for football is what they will do. So this is, to me, this is phase one. They will start to add more teams, and then outside of the Esports World Cup, they will actually have the Saudi Esports League. I know they have those.
The league exists.
Yeah,
already,
they have.
Probably time to take it.
Yes,
to the next
but
level.
they have those are. Yeah, so those are one-off tournaments. Like, okay, we do it every year, but it just happened. But now this will now be season in, season out, and then
Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. So that is the plan, and they've always mentioned Vision 2030. So it is commendable, in my opinion.
Very, very commendable indeed. And for those who don't know, Team Falcons won the Esports World Cup last year. And if do you know their total prize money they took from that?
What was their total prize money?
$7 million. $7 million.
So
sorry.
Yes. So let me Richard, let me yeah, so let me make you laugh. Last weekend I was watching the Red Bull committee in I believe was it Japan? I think it was in Japan, I'm not sure, I'm sorry. And one of the Falcons guy was playing Street Fighter, and sadly he met with one of the top tier, the royalties of Street Fighter in his own fixture, I think Sonic Fox, and that one beat him black and blue. Silly. And the commentator was like, reality check. And the commentator said, well, you may lose today, but they did not win the Esports World Cup.
That's a good shade. That's a good shade and an interesting one.
Exactly. So it was just funny. It was just a funny joke, and it, like you said, shit. But yeah.
Okay. So on the final note, I must say this one because he's my CEO at the Global Esports Federation. I'm talking Paul J. Foster. He was celebrated 4 years as the Chief Executive Officer of the Global Esports Federation this week. This is to say a big congratulations to him, and definitely looking forward to big things, like he said in his statement, many more big things to happen in coming years. If you've met Paul before, you've indirectly worked with him before by working with me, and he definitely has steered the ship of the Global Esports Federation excellently. A great leader to work with indeed.
Yes, so he's a wonderful personality, jovial, and I say he is hardworking. I believe he's someone global esports, not just the Global Esports Federation, but anything global that has to do with Esports Federation needs him there to be the captain. Once again, his work ethics, you cannot deny it is impressive. So once again, happy anniversary to him, and like he said, I'm looking forward to more years of him being very, very active and contributing into the global esports community.
All right, indeed. Okay, it's time to allow Ife to go, but I want him to launch our spotlight for today because the game is coming from Ghana. So he will say it in Twi. If he doesn't say it in Twi, I'll call his wife to not give him dinner. So Ife, launch our spotlight for today as we allow you go for the week.
Yes, so spotlight, like we said, we will be spotlighting our own very own local developers, game developers. Today's spotlight is called RWC Racing. It's a car racing game developed by a friend of mine actually in Ghana. His name is Dynasto Alfredo. And the unique thing about it is he was self-trained. He trained himself to program and code to make this game. I have played it. It's available on the app stores, both Play and the Apple Store. Wonderful game. And the cool thing about it is he used unique cars. So he used the regular cab, the taxis that we see in Africa, the Danfo or in Trotro that we call in Ghana, and you can use those cars to race. So you're not using a Cadillac, you're not using a Ferrari, you're actually using the typical everyday taxis, everyday cars and transportation mediums. I think it's a very cool game. You can download it, play it, and you can always give us a feedback in our comment section. I'm sure he will also be seeing that, so do enjoy the reel of this game.
All right guys, so it's RWC Racing, And that is our spotlight for today. If you have a fantastic weekend, I'll catch you next week.
All right, you too. Do have a lovely weekend and happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too, my brother. Welcome back. It's still the Afrogamer Show, and definitely it's been an exciting one this weekend, and I'm sure you've enjoyed yourself. You just saw, right, that Spotlight, the game we spotlight all the way from Ghana, just as Ife mentioned. Amazing one. You can get to download it on the different app stores, be it iOS or Play Store. Okay, let's go to our fun side of games, and this time around we're looking at someone who did something quite creative. What did he do? He used the Nintendo Gameboy. And I'm not sure the Gen Zs may know what that is, but that's by the way. Nintendo Game Boy being used as a reverse cam for the car. How did he do that, and how is that? Let's catch that, and we'll be right back to wrap up the show. All right, welcome back. Final lap of the show, and it's been fun taking you all around the world of esports gaming and the games right here on the Afrogamer Show. But you know, as always, we do not leave without our thought-provoking conversation known as Game Over. So, as I always say, come close, let's talk about it. You know, in the course of the show, we talked about Saudi Esports Federation signing different MOU from Level Infinite to Saavy Games and the pro clubs. That shows a thriving ecosystem, but I will not be flogging the dead horse, supposed dead horse, of the fact that we need to build a thriving ecosystem. I would only be talking about one particular one amongst those MOUs signed, and I touched on it a bit when Ife and I were speaking earlier on, and that is Saavy Games Studios, or Saavy Games Group. Now, Saavy Games Group was initiated by the Saudis a few years back, just about 3 years, I believe now, and they've been able to do a lot of things. But most recently, we're seeing them now signing with a federation, albeit their local federation, so you would expect that they're already brothers or they already have a connection. But the truth is, I believe that Saavy Games, with their global vision, if they're shown value beyond Saudi esports, be it Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, any of the African countries, they would be more than willing to test the waters and see how they can impact our ecosystem also, using the same model like what they've signed with the Saudi Esports Federation. So our people, and talking about the leadership of the different federations across the continent, thinking about this, because I believe that this is something close to home, especially considering how open the hands of someone like His Royal Highness Prince Faisal, who is very open to help develop different ecosystem, and he would be someone who will be willing to make that introduction with Saavy Games and see how they can help the different ecosystem grow. And what more would be a great testimonial even for them to say that they're helping the growth of the global esports space. That is our game over for today. It's a food for thought for the leadership of the different federations across the continent to see how they can access this great opportunity, which might have been offered by a template that already exists for them to lash up onto. My name is Shaya, your regular host. It's happy Easter to you, like we said earlier on. And of course, let me reiterate a big congratulations to Paul J. Foster on his 4th anniversary as the CEO of the Global Esports Federation. I'll catch you next week. Enjoy yourself. Bye for now.